So many INFJs go through life thinking it's a curse to be an INFJ. Life is so much harder. Nothing seems to work out. Nobody understands me. And it's my destiny to suffer. It's my destiny to be alone. It's my destiny to be a victim or a martyr. But I'm here to tell you, I see it differently. I actually think you're really, really lucky to be an INFJ because being an INFJ can be extremely hard. I've been there. I know what that means. I'm not talking as somebody who's never experienced that, but it stays hard if you accept the role society wants to give you. Once you start taking action, once you allow yourself to get above the clouds, once you allow yourself to create the life you always wanted, you'll see that so many things are easier for you than they are for others. You might be at a disadvantage if you choose to live in a default state where society tells you who you need to be. But if you take on the wheel, things actually turn around so quickly and you get to live a life that other people can only dream of. So today we're talking about 5 reasons that you finally accept that you hit the jackpot being an INFJ. Before we get started, I want to remind you, if you haven't done this so far, to download the free poster on the INFJ Epic Life formula. And if you want to take it to the next step, then get the INFJ Epic Life audio guide. It will show you step by step how to turn your personal life into the life you always wanted. Everything that you need to know, you can find through the links in the description. Reason number 1 is you see the big picture. So often seeing the big picture seems like the thing that makes us cursed. The fact that we see it and others don't, that we see what they could become, how well friends we could be, that we know how much and how great our environment, our society could be, but nobody besides you sees it. We can either allow this to define us and, really tear us down because you will be a misfit. People will not understand you. Or you take it in your hand and understand, I see the big picture and I'm going to bet on myself. I'm not only going to see the big picture, I'm going to use it as a roadmap to create my life around it. Because that is a superpower. That is an advantage most people don't have. They don't see the big picture, so they allocate all of their time, all of their energy on people, on situations that are not helping them out. And, the more you really tap into your vision, the more you bet on yourself, the more you take steps to make your vision concrete because you know what's most likely going to happen and you don't just keep it in your mind, you take action on it. The more your life will turn around, the more you will have results that others don't, and the more you will have the understanding of, if I don't just sit back, I can create this amazing life. Again, I completely agree that if you don't take the steps to create your INFJ epic life, you're probably going to suffer more than other people. But if you do start taking steps, if you do start creating your life, you will have so many advantages that other people wish they had. Reason number 2, you're deeply empathetic. And being empathetic can be something that, again, might seem like a curse. I understand other people and so I suffer with them. I get into a room and people feel bad and so this pulls me down as well. This happens when we don't work on our energy, period. Because we can pick up so much and we can also exude so much. Being empathetic isn't just about understanding others. It's also about being able to evoke something in others because we understand them so well. So think of it like this. The more you work on your energy, the more you work on living the life that makes you excited, that fills up your cup of energy, the more energy you have to actually influence people in a positive way. So being empathetic can be something that can pull you down if you don't take control over it. If you do take control of it, you have immense power to do good, to inspire others, to lift them up, but only if they respect you. If they don't respect your time, your energy, your boundaries, then let them figure out on their own what they can do without you. Reason number 3, you're a catalyst for change. So often we meet people and once we start having a more intimate conversation with them or a deeper connection, it seems like we trigger them. It seems like there's always something that makes another person have a strong reaction towards us. And at first it might feel uncomfortable. A lot of INFJs suffer because of this. I have suffered the biggest pains of my life because of this, because it made me feel wrong. But then I understood that's one of my superpowers. I am a catalyst for change. And I can either allow the fact that other people get triggered by me to define me in a negative way, or I can see it as, just a fact. And that being a catalyst is an immensely powerful tool as long as you don't take it personally. Being a catalyst for change means that you're stirring something up in people. And guess what? If something stirs other people up, then it is something that is supposed to stir them up. It is something that they need to figure out within themselves. Maybe their boundaries weren't strong enough. Maybe they're not in alignment with who they're supposed to be. That's all on them. But you're a catalyst. So you being yourself, you making choices for yourself allows you to stand more and more in your own power, allows you more and more to be your most authentic self. And with that, you automatically will stir something in people up. People can either take the invitation and grow from it, or they can distance themselves. Both of those choices are on them. Remember, free will and all. Like, I'm not able to save anybody. Neither are you. What we can do is be an example of a person who saves themselves. And saving yourself means I'm making choices that represent a life I want to live. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to be with me at the end. I'm going to be there. And I want to be proud of the life that I've created, of the choices that I've made, and of the person I have become. And nobody can take this away from you. And once you stand in that power, once you continuously make choices that conquer that version of yourself the more you will see how the people around you will change for good. If you, on the other hand, decide that, yeah, I trigger other people, but it will just tell me that I need to be smaller so I don't trigger them, it will always be a never-ending cycle of back and forth, and neither you nor the other person is getting better in the process. Accept the fact that you're a catalyst and that this is something to be proud of, this is something to stand firm in, and it's not something to run away from. Number 4, you thrive on meaningful connections. Wanting meaningful connections in your life is not something you should ever feel ashamed of. It's nothing you should ever explain or try to defend or, downplay in any way. Yes, that's who I am. That's what I want. You don't want that. You can't do that. Good. It's okay. I accept you. I respect you, but please stay away from me. That's all I'm asking. I'm not even saying you're not supposed to have superficial relationships. Sometimes it's good to have like those fun things, acquaintances that you see here and there. But the fact that we want meaningful connections allows us to inspire people like nothing else. We know when we have inspired another person. We know when we have reached them in a really deep space. It just so often seems they can't handle it. It's in that moment that we have to understand that this is not something we should be ashamed of. It's not something that we have to downplay. And it's also not something that we have to over-explain ourselves in. Just know I like meaningful connections. And if you can't meet me there, I'm going to go elsewhere because I know how it feels. It feels like I don't even have the possibility to have meaningful connections. And when there's a person and I feel we could have that, how could I let that go? You don't have a meaningful, long-lasting connection with that person. You had it for a moment in time and they're not able to maintain that. That being said, the more you create a meaningful life, and every single interaction that you have is based on you showing up as authentically as you are and leaning into those meaningful choices, the less you're going to have the need to create a meaningful connection with one particular person, because your entire life will be meaningful and everything that you do will be a representation of that. And then with time, you'll see how many people will understand what you are all about all along. Because you were willing to walk away, you were willing to go down your path, and you were willing to stand up for those things that are most important to you. You have such immense power to create such incredible change in others because you want those deep connections, because you lean into this, because this is part of who you are. And we should never apologize for it, and we should never downplay it. But again, we're also not going to overextend ourselves. And reason number 5 is we are incredibly resilient. When it comes to emotional and mental toughness, I do believe INFJs are all the way up there. Yes, every one of us, has different strengths when it comes to this, but generally speaking, we have been able to be in such depths, in such emotional deep states, really hard situations, and we're able to get ourselves out. Because we know when we have to, we can really detach, we can really focus on what is most important and make the most important choices. Because we know what is important, we know what to focus on, and we know what will make the difference. Very often we just don't feel like we're in a position where we have to take those steps. That's why we're so good at surviving instead of thriving. But that's what I want to change. That's what I want to show you you're capable of. Because you're so much more than somebody who's a martyr who can give up everything for other people. You can be an inspiration for what it means to thrive on your own terms. And now more than ever, we need people like this. So I'm here to tell you, I feel super lucky that I'm an INFJ, and I congratulate you on being an INFJ. And if you want to take more and better steps in your own life, first get the free poster on the INFJ Epic Formula, and then get the audio guide. It will show you the steps that you can do in your life starting today to make the changes happen that you always wanted to take, but you didn't know how to approach them. Everything you need to know you can find through the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in line with today's topic, then check out the video you see on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.